Okay, so finally I want to show you all about sending your messages and things that are involved with that. And the first thing I want to talk about are what we call contact groups or distribution lists. And what these are, they're actually names that represent groups of recipients. So instead of you spending, what would seem like half your day choosing 10, 15, 20, 30 people that you want to include in your email and having to do that many, many times over and over, with the same people, it makes a lot of sense to have those names all underneath one umbrella as well. So they're still separate, but you can create like a group of them, a group name that would represent all of those recipients. All right, and that's what we refer to as a contact group. So how do we go about creating one of these things? Now, by the way, some of you might already have groups set up in your address book, in your global address book, for different departments. It might be like maybe finance department or sales or something like that, where you've got a number of people. So your IT people have set that up, but you could actually make your own. All right. So here's what we're going to do with this. So first of all, what you'll do is you'll go over to a home tab there. You'll click on to new items. You'll go down here to more items, and you'll pick contact group. There it is. Now at this point, what we want to do is we want to give it a name. So let's just say that we want to create a group called, we'll say Lahaina sales leaders. Okay, so it might be all of our reps in Lahaina. Okay, a big group of them. So we do that, and then what we do next is we then go up here where it says add members, and we'll say from our address book. So we'll click onto that. There's our global address book coming up, and of course then we can go and pick the people. So we might say, well, I want student A, student B, student C, F, G, and then maybe a little bit further down, M, P, T, and W. All right. Now, we haven't talked about this yet. This is going to be in the next set of videos coming up. You can also then go back up here and then choose contacts and then pick any of your contacts that you have in your contact database, and you can add those as well. All right. We're not going to do that this time around, but that's where they'll be. So, all right. So that's about it. So you do that, hit OK. Now, if you want to go in there and add more people, then all you have to do is go back and hit add members from address book. Find somebody else that you want to include in there. I'll pick, I forgot E yet, so we'll do E, all right? Hit OK, and now E gets added to the list. If you need to remove somebody, you can click on to remove, click on maybe this one here, remove member. We got them out of there. Now, the other thing you can do is if you maybe want to add somebody that's in the outside, all right, that's not in your contact database, is not in your global address book, it's just somebody else, right? So what you can do is you can say add members, all right, and you can just say new email contact, all right, and then what will happen, this little window will pop up. And you can say, okay, the address is going to be, let's say, Emil Rose at, let's say, gmail.com, all right? And it has a check mark on here where it says add to contact. So if you want to add that to the contact database, which we'll be learning about in the next set of videos, then you can do that. Well, I don't care to have that. This is just an address that I want in there. I don't need to, add it to my area there. So once you've done that, then you can go also and put the, the display name for us. So we'll just put in there Emil, all right? And then we'll go ahead and then hit OK, and now Emil is added on there as well, okay? And then once you've done all that, you go ahead and you hit save and close, all right? Now to see where that group went to, all we do is we go down into our navigation here. I'll click on my little ellipse there, and that way I can actually see then people. So I click on there. I jump over into my L's on my little index here. Scroll down a little bit, and we will see somewhere here. Oh, went too far. And there's our Lahaina sales leaders. I can double click that, and there you can see it. So in case you needed to update it, there you go. So that's where that's at. Now, what do we do now with it? Well, now we can actually use it. We can use it either to address emails with. We can use it to create a meeting with, and we'll see that in the next upcoming videos. So in this case, let's say we'll go to new email, and on here, we normally would then have to go and click on the to and find our 10 or so addresses in there and add them in there. Don't have to do that now, because all we have to do at this point is we just go right to here. We can type in LA, and there's Lahaina sales leaders, and there you go. And then you can go down here, you can put the subject in there, the body of the message, whatever that happens to be. Now, what's kind of unique about this whole thing is that you don't have to worry about what you name it, all right? The people at the other end that are part of this group are not going to see this name. They're going to see just their separate names in there. So don't worry about trying to be politically correct and trying to come up with just the right name, because you know they're going to see the name. Well, they're not going to see the name. You're the only one going to be seeing the name. Now, the other thing that we can do with this is, let's say on this particular email, you want to leave somebody out, all right? So what you can do here is click on that little plus, all right? Hit OK, and then here's all of our recipients. So I might say, well, I don't want B getting this one, right? So I click on the student B, hit the delete key, taken care of just like that. And all I have to do is go ahead and hit the send button, and off it goes. And you'll see, because I've got the delivery receipt thing set up, you can see all the deliveries to all my recipients. A little bit slow there. There it goes. So they all came in there. That's pretty cool. Okay, now another thing I want to show you is just kind of like a keyboard technique that will allow you, without using the mouse, to open an email, read the email, reply to the email, and then send the email off on its way, all without using the mouse. All right? So it's kind of an interesting thing, especially if you're working on a little notebook computer and you're sitting in the airport, whatever, or sitting wherever, and you don't really have a good way of using the mouse, and you really don't like using the pad that's on the notebook. This might be a neat little alternative to it all, right? So we'll just go ahead and we'll pick an email here. I'm just going to kind of work down the list here, and I'll go with, let's say, this one right here, PayPal. All right. Not that it's an email that you really want to reply to, but we're just going to pick that one to be safe. All right. So I do that, and then the next thing I do on my keyboard, I hit the enter key. Hit the enter key, you get that window popping up there. At that point, then, you can kind of scroll down, kind of read the message. So I'm just using the down arrow to read through the message, right? And then what we do is we want to go ahead and reply to it. So on the keyboard, you would hit Control and the letter R, okay? So I do a Control R. That comes up. It says, do you want to download the external content? I'll say sure. So I just use my left arrow to get over there. Hit the enter key. And now I got my reply window up there. I can go ahead and start typing away. And when I'm all done, I'm ready to send it. Well, so instead of me, using my mouse and going over here and clicking on a send, all I have to do in this case is on my keyboard, hit Control and then Enter. Just like that, and off it goes. Now, if you didn't set up your machine like I showed you in the very beginning, where when you go to reply, it closes the original email window, then right now you'd be looking at that email window. So, and I'll just give you an example of it. So it might be something like you might be looking at it like this, all right? So now you're all done. You just hit the escape key, and that will remove it from the screen and close the window, basically. But that's it. So I hope this video helped. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and we'll see you in the next set of videos. Take care.